Genetics and inheritance pattern. What is genetics? It is the study of how traits are transferred from parents to offsprings in the form of genes. A gene is the fundamental physical and functional unit of heredity. It is responsible for the phenotype of an organism. Autosomal recessive disorders. Which type of individuals with a mutant allele will be affected by autosomal recessive disorders? Individuals who are heterozygous for the condition often show no features and are completely healthy, that is, they are carriers. Autosomal recessive inheritance manifests only in the individuals who are homozygous for the mutant allele. Autosomal recessive conditions include Fanconi anemia, phenylketonuria, and sickle cell disease. The other examples include albinism, ataxia telangiectasia, alkaptonuria, beta thalassemia, cystic fibrosis, congenital adrenal hyperplasia, distal spinal muscular dystrophy, Dubin-Johnson syndrome, emphysema, Friedreich ataxia, galactosemia, glycogen storage disorder, hemochromatosis, and homocystinuria. In case of autosomal recessive inheritance, when both parents are unaffected carriers, 50% of their children will be unaffected completely, but they will be carriers. 25% will be unaffected, and 25% will be affected. Here we have almost the same picture. Both parents are carrier, 25% healthy, 50% carrier children, and 25% sick. Autosomal recessive disorders. Which type of individuals with a mutant allele will be affected by autosomal recessive disorders? Both homozygous and heterozygous individuals for the mutant allele will be affected in the people who have autosomal dominant inherited conditions. The offspring of individual with this condition has 1 in 2, that is 50% chance of being affected. Often it is possible to trace the disorder through generations in the family, and this condition affects every generation. Few examples of autosomal dominant conditions include von Willebrand disease, von Hippel-Lindau syndrome, pseudohypoparathyroidism, dystrophia myotonica, osteogenesis imperfecta, Osler-Weber-Rendu syndrome, Marfan syndrome, intermittent porphyria, neurofibromatosis, achondroplasia, adult polycystic kidney disease, Nonan syndrome, tuberous sclerosis, hypercholesterolemia, Huntington disease, hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy, hereditary spherocytosis, hereditary non-polyposis coli, hereditary hemorrhagic telangiectasia. In autosomal dominant inheritance, when one of the parents is sick and other is healthy, then 50% will be sick children and 50% will be healthy children. X-linked recessive disorder. Few examples include androgen insensitivity syndrome, congenital adrenal hyperplasia, Duchenne muscular dystrophy, fragile X syndrome, G6PD deficiency, hemophilia, and thalassemia. For example, in this condition, if we have affected father, mother is unaffected, then sons will be unaffected and the daughters will be carrier. But if we have unaffected father and carrier mother, then son will be affected, one daughter will be carrier, one son will be unaffected, and one daughter will be unaffected. X-linked dominant disorders. Examples include fragile X syndrome, Reed syndrome, vitamin D resistant rickets. In this disorder, if the father is affected and mother is unaffected, then the daughters will be completely affected and the sons will be unaffected. If the father is unaffected and mother is affected, then one son will be affected, one daughter will be affected, one son and one daughter will be unaffected. Maternal non-disjunction. Disjunction occurs in Down syndrome or trisomy 21. Now, this table shows specific genetic disorders along with associated gene mutations. So, thank you so much. That was something about genetics and inheritance patterns. Subscribe on Obs and Gynae. Allah Hafiz.